What's up, me heavy metal maniacs? My name is Bob. I'm here in Las Vegas where I have a tribute to Judas Priest called Turbo Lover. If you want to check us out in your local, we're called Turbo Lover Las Vegas. Now, today I want to talk to you about some of Glenn Tipton's special rigs, including this guitar here. Now, I'm not an expert in guitar. As a matter of fact, I can't even play guitar. But I want to outfit my band with all of the most correct and legitimate Judas Priest gear that we can. Not only with the costumes, but with the guitars and the equipment. I have this graphic from Guitar Magazine, I want to say 2004. Put this up on the screen, talking about Glenn Tipton's artist rig from 2004. And we'll talk about a little bit before 2004 with this Gibson SG. Okay, this guitar here, this is a real genuine Gibson SG, okay? This one is a 1996 model that I picked up off of eBay for like $1,000 bucks. Now in 2006, Gibson released a pair of guitars, the Judas Priest edition. They only made 30 sets. You got one of these black SGs, and then you got one of the KK Red Flying Vs. By the way, we will talk about KK's rigs and his Red Flying V in a separate video. Today we're only talking about Glenn. Again, let me preface this by saying I'm not an expert. I'm not a guitar player. I'm not a luthier or whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm really making this video to reach out to those of you that are experts and maybe can help me with some of these questions. And you can learn along with me on this journey. Now, as I understand it, when they reissued this in 2006, the way Glenn had this set up in his vintage SG is he had the 57 standard passive humbucker up at the neck. But the bridge, he had an active EMG pickup. I want to say it was like a 51, something like that. We can review that later. He had this stainless steel pick guard. His was polished. This one is brushed. This white switch here, speed knobs, chrome or stainless rather, truss rod cover. This Gibson, I believe, was in silver with the dot inlays, not the chevron style. And as far as I know, no tremolo. This is basically what he used prior up until 1984. This was his go-to rig. Go back and watch the US Festival 83, and you'll see him playing this quite exclusively. So I've got, a little over $1,000 bucks in this. I think this pick guard I bought on eBay for like 85 bucks. The knobs were like 12, 15 bucks. I'm going to add that active EMG pickup in there. It's already been ordered. It's on back order, sort of a rare kind of a model. And I'll put it in there. This guitar has a little work on it. It's got a little rash on it, a little wear here. Whoever owned this must have had a ring or something. I don't know. I did put Grover 14-to-1 tuning machines on this. That's what it called for. And I got that information from the reissue of the 2006. By the way, if you happen to have a pair of those and you're willing to sell them, contact me. I'd like to buy them. I know there's only 30 pairs of them out there. I know they're expensive, but I would be interested. Okay, let's hang this back up. This thing, look at this. This is not a guitar that was ever sold to the public. It's called the GT, the Glenn Tipton. Made by Hamer, or Hammer, I don't know how you say it. I think it's Hamer. This guitar was custom designed by Glenn Tipton himself. He has stated that he doesn't care for tone knobs. He just wants the volume. He gets all his tone through his other gear. This guitar was custom made for me by a company in China that makes replica guitars. I bought it on DHgate. It was about 450 bucks. It took about 4 months to get the guitar. And I regret highly that I did not get the custom case for it, because I thought I'll just get a case for it, right? Wrong. It's 51 inches tall and 18 inches wide. It will not fit in any case. Not a bass case, not a keyboard case. There's no case that I found that it will fit in. I'd have to have one custom made at a cost of probably $500. It's ridiculous. But the guitar is very lightweight, made of mahogany, one piece with the neck. I don't know the brand of these tuners that are on here, but they seem very authentic compared to the way they looked. Now, it did not have the tremolo. So what I had to do was, hold on just a second, let me pause, let me grab this tool. I should have had it handy. Okay, so upon further investigation, just looking at close-up photos of the guitar, I found that it's using a Kahler 2300 model tremolo, which I found vintage on eBay, few $100. Had to kind of piece it together too, by the way. A lot of people are just selling parts and pieces. Put it together, and there was a guy selling this tool, this template. So the template goes here. I mounted the template, used a router, and went in 1 inch and made this square hole as best I could, and mounted this 2300 model Kahler tremolo. It's in there nice and well. Now, everybody knows that when you buy the Chinese guitar, the Gibsons as they're known, that the hardware and the electronics in them aren't any good. So I decided to get the EMG Glen Tipton Vengeance pickups. Let me show you that. So these come in both black and red. Look what's on the box. Right? Now, I've never installed pickups before, but it was actually pretty easy. I got them, and these were all plug and play, by the way. Came with everything I needed, but I was like, oh my gosh, there's 4 pots here, there's only 1 knob. You simply don't use the tones and the other volume, and you run everything through just 1 volume. That's basically it. It was pretty easy to install. These were a little over $200. I've actually ordered another set of these for another guitar in red. We'll talk about that, maybe we'll talk about that guitar later. So, these are made just to his spec. Whoops, dropped the box, hold on. So these are just how he likes it. So the EMG, made in the USA. I put the black on, even though they're showing them red on the box, but that's not how they are in real life. They were just emphasizing them. So to talk more about this guitar, they made 3 of these as far as I know. He talks about it in some interviews. This white and black one. They made a black and white one that was reversed to this. And then one that I think is just a cream, kind of like a faded nitro finish. But this is the one I see him with kind of the most. You'll see it in videos. He talks about how he wanted this drop to kind of rest against his knee so he could get that classic, you get it what I'm saying. I wish I could play this guitar. I can't play guitar, but my guitar player who plays the role of Glenn says it's amazing. I had it set up by a guitar guy I know, and it just plays wonderfully. It's nice and straight. So with everything, I've got about $1,000 in this guitar. Having it made, putting in the pickups, this tremolo, and paying my guy to set it up for me. Pretty amazing. So this is not a guitar that was ever sold to the public, and you're not going to find one of these for sale unless someone did exactly as I did. And they don't come with this tremolo. They just come with a plain seat back there, pretty standard thing. I've contacted the people that made this and asked them if they would be willing to make me also the black one. And but these old Kahler 2300s, you just got to find them on eBay. And a lot of times you got to piece them together because there's a lot of people that are selling each of these little string seats, whatever those are called, these little screws. Like, I had to kind of piece this thing together. I had to buy this arm separate, and I had to build it out, and then I cleaned it really well, but it came out beautifully. And it plays beautifully. So Glenn has changed his rig over the years, and as you can see from this thing here, he talks about, in this particular rig, he talks about using a Yamaha MIDI foot controller so he can switch and control these other rack-mounted things. But he prefers to just have a volume knob on the guitar and not use any of the tone controls, he says. Now, we're not going to really talk about his Marshalls and amplification, because in a lot of cases you're going to be going DI or you're going to be using maybe a different type of system. I'm not sure how much that really has to do with the sound, using his 1960 BV 280 watt 4x12 cabinets with Marshall Celestion vintage speakers with a 57 microphone up against it. But that's the sound. You know, he has Sennheiser wireless. I don't think that really matters about the sound or his power station. He has a Rocktron Piranha tube preamp. That goes into he has a Digitech Mono 28 MIDI programmable equalizer, Rocktron IntelliFX, Yamaha SPX90, DBX 166A compressor limiter. Then, of course, his dual monoblock power amp. Now, on the floor, he's not doing a whole lot of special effects here. He's got a Digitech Tone Driver Overdrive. He loves overdrive. He talks about it over and over in his interviews. He wants all the overdrive he can get. A Digitech Main Squeeze Compressor. Now, I've ordered both of these pedals. They're on their way to me now, as well as a few others. His Weasel Wah, Dunlop Wah, modded by his tech, who I think put a little foot switch on it he talked about. It says, all guitars equipped with the following pickups: EMG 81s, in neck and bridge. Bridges Kaler. Now, strings, he likes Ernie Ball. He likes them small, starting with a 9. Tuning, down 1/2 step. I don't know what any of this really means. I kind of know what it means. But I can't play guitar as I'm the vocalist. So I wanted to show this video because when I search the internet, there is nothing about this guitar. Even the interviews where Glenn himself talks about it. So if somebody out there works for Judas Priest, knows Glenn Tipton or his guitar tech, if they would be willing to do a rig rundown now of what Glenn is using. I know Glenn is only partially working with, you know, Andy and Richie with the guys, but I would love, love, love if he would show us his 3 or at least one of these Hamer guitars, talk about how it was made, what's in it, how he hooks it up, how he specifically gets his tone, and how that coincides, or used to coincide with KK, but now coincides with Richie and Andy when he does perform, when he can. Now, I have the Red Flying V being built for me now to KK specifications. That will be delivered to me soon. Like I said before, if anybody has one of those original Gibson Judas Priest sets that's willing to sell, I'm willing to buy. I'd love to have the originals. But this is just my first video on this subject. This is for people that are fans of Judas Priest and fans of you know, these guitars. If you want to see us performing, check out our Facebook page, Turbo Lover Las Vegas, where we do our best rendition of Judas Priest, and the costumes, the guitars, and the performance, choreography, doing all your favorite hits. And we like to do all the fun MTV stuff, all the wiggles and the dances and the costumes, and bring back that fun experience of seeing Judas Priest, like the Fuel for Life tour and the those great shows. So anyway, if you know anything about these, please post in the comments, get in touch with me. I'm not coming here to brag as an expert. I'm really coming here looking for more answers based on what I know. I want to get these as perfect as possible, get our sound and our tone to be as much like Judas Priest as we can. Thank you so much for watching the video. Appreciate it. Bye.